All right, so this is the post game for the Vikings game. Uh, as you can see, I am not wearing a jersey, which means no victory for the Jets. As I predicted, if you watched my pregame video, I actually predicted they would lose the game, and they did. But they lost this game in a different type of way than I thought they would lose it. In that pregame video, I was just saying how, I thought Donald would really light it up on him. But they, credit to the Jets defense, they pretty much held the Vikings in check. They held Donald in check for the most part. Donald had some nice throws in this game. Donald's really having a great season, and good for him. They're 5-0 now under Donald. So, but getting back to this game. I want to say that two things pop out to me in this game right off the bat. Really three things. The first thing that really pops out to me in this game, and really this may have very well really lost them the game, was, and this, again, this is coaching, okay? What is Saleh thinking of? I believe it was in the first quarter, where you're well into field goal range. It's early in the game, and you got fourth down, and you don't kick a field goal there. Like, you take the points there, you kick the field goal. Those 3 points to me were the whole difference in this game. Instead of chasing them, they could have tied them. Especially at the end of the game when it was 23-17, okay? It could have been 23-20, which means the Jets don't need a touchdown at the end of the game. They just need a field goal. Those 3 points were the whole difference in this game. It was like they just kept haunting the Jets all game. And that's the way it works. When you don't take the points, when you can get the points, it always comes back to haunt you in some kind of way. And I knew that was going to be a big factor in this game when they didn't go for the field goal and they went for it on fourth. They didn't get it. And to me, at the end of the game, that's it. Those 3 points showed up large because now you need a touchdown. And then what happens? Rodgers throws the interception at the end of the game. Game over. Because why? Because they needed a touchdown when they really could have just needed a field goal at that point in the game. That could have tied the game. And then we see what happens from there. But, it's you got to kick the field goal. Again, that's coaching to me. All right? So coaching is starting to really concern me on this team. I like Saleh. I've supported Saleh since the beginning, but I'm starting to think that Saleh is just a rah-rah guy. He just wants to be one of the fucking players. Listen, you need to be the fucking head coach, all right? What you need to do is learn how to be a head coach and fucking start getting smarter with the game, all the facets of the game. I think maybe Saleh should call up Bill Parcells and have a long conversation with him about the fundamentals of coaching. That's what I really think. Because, not too mmany did it better than Parcells. Parcells really understood the game. He understood the plays. He understood the buttons to push, everything. I think Parcells is by far one of the best coaches, in the history of the game. Call him up and, learn how to be a head coach. So, that's that. Okay. Another thing that popped out to me, the defense, like I said, I thought they kept the Jets in the game. When you think about it, they held a very good Vikings team and a very hot, Donald, who's been playing fantastic. They held all that in check and kept the Jets in the game. But penalties, Okay, Gardner had probably the shittiest game I've seen him have as a pro. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's got I don't know. He looks like he needs to bulk up a little bit to me, just a little. But aside from that, he had, I think, 2 or 3 bad penalties, and he missed that interception that was right in his hands, right in the end zone. He also, I think, left the game for a little while. That's what I'm saying. I think he needs to bulk up a little bit, maybe, or something. I don't know. I'm not sure, but he seems to be getting hurt a little bit more. And this is the first game where I really saw him slipping. It looked like he was getting beat a little bit. He had these bad penalties. They were holding. There was interference with him. He's definitely got the potential to be one of the best corners in the league, but he didn't have a good game. Another thing that pops out to me on the bright side of things is McDonald had another sack, a really nice sack. Again, McDonald is showing up. He's stepping up. I just like what I continue to see with Will McDonald. And then that brings us to Rodgers. 3 interceptions. One of them was the game-ending interception. And even when he wasn't throwing interceptions, in the beginning of the game especially, man, he just didn't look like he was in stride. He didn't look like he was. It almost looked like he he was either tired from the plane trip, or like he didn't even want to be there. And then he got his groove a little bit, but his throws were off. I think the whole game, he looked like he was just off. So I don't know what was up with him for this game. Listen, he is 40. And there's a whole we can go on and on about that. Now, do I think it's the end of the fucking season? No, I don't. It's still early in the season. I still think you're going to see, providing everybody stays healthy, I think you're still going to see some good games from this team, and I think you'll see definitely some better games from Rodgers and the whole team as a whole. But they all. You are what your record says it is, right? I mean, they're 2-3. So, but interestingly, it's crazy. They're 2-3, and yet they still have a chance to be in first place after next week. So, and we'll get into next week's game in the pregame video. They're playing Buffalo Monday night at home. It's a huge game. First place is on the line, even at 2-3. How crazy is that? But that's why you got to beat Denver, okay? Because if you beat Denver, now you're in a different position. You're tied for first now. And then if you beat Buffalo next week after beating Denver, now you're in sole possession of first. So you got to beat the Denvers of the world. We'll get more into the Buffalo game in the pregame video. All right, I don't want to keep this one too long. This game was pretty much what I thought it was going to be, a loss. So, but they did play decently. They had a nice ending to the first half. And like I said, they were in this game. But that 3 points, man, you have that 3 points, and guess what? You're now playing for a tie with a field goal instead of needing a touchdown. That's, again, it's all coaching. And let's not end the video without talking about Garrett Wilson. He had a really good game. He was targeted, I think, like 22 times. I think he had like 101 yards. He had a touchdown. He had a nice touchdown too, where he broke free and he made something happen. So Lazard had a nice touchdown too in this game. So listen, it's on the bright side, Wilson kind of had a breakout game a little bit, but again, I think as the season progresses, you'll start to see more chemistry with Wilson and Rodgers, and I'm not I'm not that down about this loss because, it's like I said, I felt like they were going to lose this game. It was expected. So, but they, as bad as they played, and listen, let's be real here. They didn't play that great. So as bad as they played, they were still in this game. They could have won the game with a touchdown. Oh, that reminds me. There was a play right before Rodgers' game-ending interception, right? Where I believe Wilson broke free. You hit Wilson there. That's a game-winning touchdown. And Rodgers overthrew him. So, come on, man. You got to make that fucking throw. You are a Hall of Famer, dude. You got to make that throw. I think he was being pressured a little bit, or I'm not really sure, but still, you're fucking Aaron Rodgers. You need to make that throw. You need to hit. He's wide open. You need to hit Wilson on that play. You hit Wilson on that play, and it is a Jet victory. So, that's pretty much it. Let's keep it short. And like I said, I'm not overly disappointed because I kind of like I said, I predicted the loss, and a loss is what happened. So that's it. Look for the pregame video. It's a big game coming up against Buffalo. It's huge. It's Monday night. It's at home. I believe it's at home. And it is for first place. And, but they gotta win. They gotta beat. I'm not gonna get into it. Watch the pregame. I almost predicted it right there. But, listen, it is a big game. It's Buffalo at home Monday night. And, like I said, first place is on the line because if you beat Buffalo now, right? Now you're 3-3, and Buffalo falls to 3-3. Buffalo, let's just talk about Buffalo for 1 second here against Houston. What the fuck were they thinking of at the end of that game where they were in their own end zone? All you got to do is, the game was tied, right? Game was tied. The clock is I think under a minute. All you got to do is kill the clock and go to overtime. You're in your own end zone, man. You can't fuck around, right? So just kill the clock and go to overtime. What were they thinking by throwing? I think he threw 3 passes in a row, stopping the clock with each pass, giving Houston all that, enough time to just have a decent run back, make a throw, and then kick a fucking 59-yard field goal with no time left to win the fucking game. So, again, that's a gift to the Jets, but just pure stupidity on Buffalo's part. And McDermott, he's a good coach. So I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what the breakdown was there, but that was a game that should, at the very least, went into overtime. So, again, it's another gift for the Jets. It's almost like the football universe is trying to, make it happen for the Jets this year. So, we'll see. Again, watch the pregame video for the Buffalo game, and that's it, man.